How you doing there? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Kuf Ches, Daf 108 of Masechta BavaBasra. Friends, your friends. Today we start Perek Yesh Noichalin. Now, Perek Yesh Noichalin is like I feel like it's one of the big ones. I feel like it comes up. I don't really learn Tosfos very much, but when I was a younger man, I'd be in like yeshiva and stuff. They would learn Tosfos, and I feel like Yesh Nochalim was like one of those parakim that comes up in Tosfos all the time. I don't know why, but anyways, Yesh Nochalim. I feel like it's like a famous parak. I think till the end of BavaBasra we were doing Yesh Nochalim, Misha Meis, Get Poshet. These are big stuff. We have another, 68 daf or so left in BavaBasra. Yesh Noichalin it's like a 30 daf. It's a big parak. In Be'etzem, so I saw that the article Taka has an introduction. I really should read it. I like to, whenever there's an introduction in the article, I like to read it because they're generally very good. But I only realized a few hours ago that it was there, and it's Erev Rosh Hashanah now, and I have to record 3 dapim, and so I didn't get to it, but maybe over Rosh Hashanah I'll be able to read it. Akoponim, from what I've learned so far, which is only the first 2 daf, it's be'etzim bava bivamis. It's yivamis. It's the father and the brother and the uncles and the daughters and the thises and the thatses. We're going to start on daf kuf ches amud aleph at the beginning of Perek Yesh Noichalin. It says in the Mishnah, Yesh Nochalan Uman Chilin. Oh, so Chaver, listen to this. I was tempted to explain it in the following way, as I do sometimes. Yesh Nochalin, there are those who inherit, Umanchilin, and inherit. You get the difference? Inherit, to inherit or to inherit. To inherit would be to inherit from somebody. To inherit would be to inherit to somebody. But in the interest of being a nice guy, I decided against it. What was the recent one that we had? The something and the something or. The something and the something or. The or. I don't remember. But like there I think it worked. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what it was. Akoponim. But here I think inherit and inherit is like it's too much. So we're going to go with inherit and bequeath. How's that? Yesh nochalin umanchilin. There are those who inherit and bequeath. V'yesh nochalin below manchilin. There are those who inherit but do not bequeath. Manchilin v'lo nochlin, there are those who bequeath but do not inherit. Lo nochlin v'lo manchilin, and others do not inherit and do not bequeath. Now I'm like trying to think what the or thing was. Ah man, and was it inheritor and inheritor? Maybe. I can't remember. Akoponim. So where am I? Here we go. Ha'av es abonim ve'abonim es ha'av ve'achin min ha'av nochalin u'manchilin. Okay, so ha'av es abonim. So if a child passes away, well, the relationship between a child and a father, that if so nochalin, if the father passes away, the child will inherit the father, and if the child passes away, so then the child will be bequeathing his property to his father, as we're going to see in the Gemara, kilu, so long as he doesn't have his own children. Okay, and the same thing vis-a-vis the father. So also like children vis-a-vis their father, that if their father passes away, he bequeaths to let's say inherit. So the children, Well, the father would inherit a child. If a child passes away, the father would inherit the child. And if the father passes away, so then he bequeaths his property to his children. And also brothers who share a father, right? So if a brother passes away and the father's already in Wellwood and he doesn't have any children, so then then they would bequeath to the brothers. So the brothers would inherit that brother, and that brother would bequeath to the others. Okay. Okay, so in all those cases, Noichalin u'Manchilin, they inherit and bequeath. Ha'ish es imo, a person and his mother. Va'ish es ishto, a person and his wife. Uvnei achayos, and the children of sisters. Nochalin v'lo manchilin, they inherit, but they do not bequeath. So let's read that again. So they inherit, but they do not bequeath. So ha'ish es imo, a child inherits his mother, right? So let's say his father died, no, let's not say that. Well, let's say the father had passed away, and now his mother dies. So if she has her own property, that won't go to the father because he's in Wellwood. So the child will inherit his mother, but if the child dies, it does not go to his mother, right? His mother does not inherit the child. First of all, if the child has his own children, so they would inherit him. If he doesn't, then it would go to the father. But if there's no father, then it goes to his own brothers. And if he doesn't have brothers, and I think it goes to his father's brothers, but it doesn't go to the mother. Va'isha ishto, and also a husband and wife, right? A husband would inherit his wife, but when a husband dies, his wife, he does not bequeath to his wife. Uvnei achayos, and the children of sisters. So if you have a guy and he has a sister, you have a guy and he has a sister, and his sisters have kids. So if they would inherit him, but they would not bequeath to him. Yeah, right? I think that's what it was. Is that what it was? Well, what was it? We were talking about Nochalin v'lo manchilin, right? So inherit. So we say uvnei achayos, right? So what was it? If he dies, so I think his sister's children will inherit him, but if they die, they would not bequeath to him. I believe that's correct. Let me just confirm that. Yeah, so be'etzem, right, because if he dies and he does, and so if the uncle dies and he doesn't have any children, doesn't have any parents, doesn't have any brothers, all he has but he has a sister. So the sister would inherit the uncle. Okay, again, if the uncle dies and he doesn't have any children or parents, well, I guess her father, and no brothers, but he has a sister, so the sister would inherit him. And then if the sister dies, so then it would go to the children, to her children. But if the children die, the uncle would not inherit them. Ha'isha is banea, a woman to her children. Ve'isha is baila, a husband to his wife. Ve'ache ha'em, and the brothers of the mother, manchilin, they bequeath. V'lo nochalin, but they do not inherit. It's basically the inverse of the previous thing, that a wife would a ishas banel, a mother bequeaths but does not inherit her children. V'ishas baila, she bequeaths to her husband but does not inherit her husband. V'acheim, right, and the uncle that we were talking about, manchilim, bequeaths to the nephews. V'lo nochalim, but if they die, they do not bequeath to. He does not inherit them if the children die. Okay. And brothers who share the same mother but different fathers, so they don't inherit and they don't bequeath. Shtikol bavi bevamis over there. Shtikol bavi bevamis over there. 1 second. So now, frag the Gemara, Maishno de Katonia of es ha bonim bereisha. Why does the Mishnah start off with talking about a father inheriting a child? Lesni abonim esav, talk about the children inheriting their father, Bereisha, first. Chada, because first of all, because it's a downer, right? Meaning, so that's the Gemara's kash, meaning, why is the Mishnah opening up with a father who never inherits a child? Meaning the child passes away, we talk about the father, right? We don't want to start on sort of a tragic note, why not just say fakir? Start with a child inheriting the father. That, it's a sad scenario, but it's sort of the way that life goes. That children inherit parents. And additionally, right? What does the pasuk say? Is that if a father passes away and he doesn't have any children, so we're talking about that the pasuk starts out talking about a father who passes away, not a child who passes away. So why does the Mishnah start by talking about a child who passes away? And for the Gemara, the answer is because since a father inheriting his son comes from a drasha. One second. That. Right. It's bavi. It's not extremely difficult, but it's bavi. You have to remember the father, the brothers, the children, the this, the that, the other thing. So since a father inheriting his child is a drasha midirabanon, so the rabbis get a kick out of that because it's their own handiwork, their own chidushay Torah. So they kind of prioritize that. Well, my drasha, what is this drasha of the father inheriting the son? The Tanis we learn in a brayso sheiro ze ha'ov, that when the pasuk says v'mein achim la'aviv unesatem es nachlosu l'sheiro ha'korav elav. So when it says sheiro ze ha'ov, this is the father. Milamid she'ha'ov kodem le'achin. So it teaches that the father takes precedence over the brothers. Meaning, so if you have let's make up some names. Ruvain. So Rashbam uses the name Chanoch. I like that. So meaning if you have Reuven is the father, Chanoch is the son, and the grandfather is Yaakov. Okay, so you have Yaakov, Reuven, Chanoch. Chanoch. What a random name. I have a cousin Chanoch. So what are we saying? So if Reuven passes away, so how do we know that if the inheritance is between Reuven's brothers, Shimon and Levi, Yehuda, or his father Yaakov, how do we know that Yaakov precedes Shimon and Levi and Yehuda? Because this is Sheiro. Sheiro is his father, so the father takes precedence over the brothers. So again, Sheiro, when it says Sheiro Ze'av, that's the father, it's Yaakov. That Yaakov takes precedence over Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda, Yisachar, Zvulun, etc., for inheritance. Yachol Yekodem the Ven. Is it possible that Yaakov would also take priority over Chanoch ben Reuven, Reuven's son Chanoch, Chuni? So Tamilomer Akarov. It says Asher Akarov. So Karov Kodem. Whoever is closest takes priority, and the son is considered to be closer than the father. So if Reuven dies, first preference, goes to Chanoch. After that, Yaakov. After that, Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda, etc. Well, let's just make a decision. In our example, Reuven has 3 brothers, Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda. Okay? Yeah, there could potentially be Yisachar, but he's got 3 brothers in that family, Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda. Okay? So the order is it goes first to Chanoch. If there's no Chanoch, so then Yaakov. If there's no Yaakov, then Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda. Fine. Now, why does Chanoch take priority over Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda? Right? It says Akarov Kodem. But how do you know that the son is a better option than, right? That Chanoch is a better option than Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda? And for the Gemara, I will prioritize Chanoch because Shekain come Tachas Oviv liyuadav l'sdei achuza. The answer is because a son, can take the place of the father for Yi'ud as well as for Stei Achuzah. These are both things that have come up before. Baruch Hashem, we've learned about 2/3 of Shas already together. So, Baruch Hashem, we've seen a lot of things already. What's Yi'ud? Yi'ud came up in Masechta Kiddushin. Yi'ud is that if a fellow has an Amoha Ivriya, so he could marry her without giving Kesef Kiddushin because we rely on the money that he paid for her when he acquired the Amoha Ivriya. So the father can marry the Amoha Ivriya with Yi'ud. Alternatively, the son could marry the Amoha Ivriya with Yi'ud, but only the father, the son, nobody else. Additionally, Stei Achuzah. If somebody is makdish his ancestral lands, right, in Eretz Yisrael, the Yidden have ancestral lands in Eretz Yisrael, Stei Achuzah, and if one is makdish his Stei Achuzah, so he gives it as a donation to the treasury. Now, what's the treasury going to do with somebody's land? They need to make money off of it, so they sell it. Okay, so they sell the land and they get the money for the land and Givaldik. Now it becomes money that they could use. So somebody's makdish the Stei Achuzah. The temple treasury sells the land to somebody else. They make money off of the transaction, and that's their money that they have for the Bedek Habayis. So now, okay, what happens at Yovel? Right, so somebody else bought this Stei Achuzah. Now at Yovel, the land goes back. Who does the land go back to? So it depends who bought it. If the person who owns the land bought it back from the treasury, he redeemed it, right? So his makdish is Stei Achuzah. He then redeems it from the Bedek Habayis. So he basically gives the value, essentially, of the field to the Bedek Habayis. Now the field is his, and he keeps it. It's his. Yovel remains his. It's his. But if the temple treasury sells it to a third party, to somebody else, well, then comes Yovel, it goes to the Kohanim. So there's a big difference between if the father redeems his field, the owner of the field redeems the field, versus if somebody else redeems the field. So now, what if the son redeems the field? So we say that the son is just like the father. If the son redeems the field from Hektish, from the Bedek Habayis, so then it would not revert. It would not go to the Kohanim at Yovel. They would keep it at Yovel. But if somebody else, including the Makdisher's brothers, if somebody else redeems it, well, then at Yovel it will go to the Kohanim. It would no longer be a Stei Achuzah. So we say that. So we're saying that the son would take priority over. Right. So Chanoch would take priority over Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda for inheritance, since the son has a special sort of relationship or abilities in that the son can do Yiyud with an Amoha Ivriya of his father's, as well as can redeem Hektish of his father's Stei Achuzah and keep it as their ancestral lands. But fragt die Gemara, Adraba, say Punkt verkehrt. I will give priority to Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda. Shekain kom tachas ochiv liyibum. The brothers, right? Ruvain's brothers, Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda, they should take priority because they have the special mitzvah of yibum. If Ruvain dies, so then they marry his wife. They have the priority by yibum. So therefore that's something special by the brothers. Therefore they should have the priority because they're shaykh to Yibum. The son is not. But the Gemara asks an interesting question over here, an interesting challenge, which is Klum yesh Yibum ela b'makom she'ein ben. Even the talk of Yibum is only shaykh when there's no children in the picture. Ha b'makom she'esh ben, but when there are children in the picture, then their power Yibum is not shaykh. Ein Yibum. There's no Yibum. So meaning we want to use Yibum as a argument to say that the brothers have a special sort of mitzvah here vis-a-vis their brother Ruvain, in that they do yibum if he dies, therefore they should get priority, and therefore they're better than the son, but actually the son is stronger because the mere fact that he's alive means that they actually don't have the mitzvah of yibum. They would only have the mitzvah of yibum so long as he's not in the picture. But being that he's alive, they actually aren't shaykh to yibum because there is no yibum as long as there's a son or a daughter. So therefore, to say that the brothers take priority because they have the special mitzvah of yibum, they only have a special mitzvah of yibum when there's no son. But when there is a son, yibum isn't shaykh bichlal. So of course the son has priority. But now, well, this is real Gemara. I'm like actually having to get into it and get animated. No. Sheben of makom sheish ben ein yibum. But now, fact the Gemara an interesting kasha. So time at the ika I pircha. So we're saying that the reason why Chanoch gets priority over Shimon, Levi, and you. Wow, I like my brain. My brain is not mush right now. Thank God, Baruch Hashem. But like, it's the kind of thing that enough of this mush. So we had just said, well, Chanoch should take priority because he has Yud and Stei Achuza. Then we said, no, Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda should take priority because they have Yibum. And they say, no, Yibum is not a good proof. Okay, fine, so then Chanoch gets priority. So effectively, Gemara, wait, the reason why Chanoch gets priority is because the raya from Yibum is no good? What if the raya from Yibum was good? Still, Chanoch has two things going for him versus the brothers who have only one thing going for them. Chanoch has Yud and Stei Achuza. The brothers only have Yibum. So why are we making it seem like, oh, okay, fine, Yibum doesn't work. Okay, fine, Chanoch has priority. Even if Yibum did work, it's still, Chanoch has two proofs, two supports, rather than the brothers only have one. So, time of the Ika Pircha, what? So we're saying that the reason why Chanoch takes priority over the brothers is because, okay, Yibum doesn't work. But but if not for the fact that Yibum is a problematic raya, Havamina, I would have actually thought to say, Ach Odif, that Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda would take precedence over Chanoch for inheriting Reuven. But still I should say that Chanoch gets priority because even if Yibum was a good proof, Yibum is only one sort of thing versus Stei Achuza and Yud, which is two things. So, and for the Gemara, Stei Achuza gufa me'ataymahu. So actually by Chanoch, there is also only one thing. And that is Yud. Right? I think the pasuk says V'im livno yiyadenu. That the pasuk specifically says that the son can do Yud. The pasuk does not specifically say that the son can inherit the Stei Achuza, and we actually have the same kasha by Stei Achuza. How do I know that the son can inherit? Maybe the brothers can inherit. Reuven Stei Achuza. Could be Podeh Reuven Stei Achuza and keep it as the Stei Achuza. And we say, well, it makes more sense that the son should be able to do it because of Yud. We say, wait, but the brothers have Yibum. We say, yeah, but the son is stronger than the brothers' Yibum for this same reason. So the point being that Stei Achuza actually isn't another thing. Stei Achuza itself, right, isn't like a good, what's the word I'm thinking of? A good support, I guess. Because really, Yud is really the only show in town. Yud is really the only place where the Torah says that the son can do something in place of his father, and that is Yud. The Torah does not say Stei Achuza. We actually only know Stei Achuza because of the same sort of back and forth about Yud, Yibum. Yibum is no good. So therefore, just like we're having this discussion right now to figure out inheritance, so we actually had the same exact discussion with regard to Stei Achuza. Therefore, Stei Achuza can't be understood as like another sort of proof. Really, the only place to prove from is Yud, right? So Stei Achuza gufa me'ai taima hu, that Stei Achuza is actually from the same reason of Yud versus Yibum. I have to sneeze. Oh my gosh. Okay, the kaima le letana klum yesh Yibum ela b'makom she'ein bo she'ein ben or yesh ben ein Yibum. That they have the same thing by Stei Achuza. that, how do we know that it's the son who can inherit? Maybe it's the brothers. So we say, well, the son has Yid, yeah, but the brothers have Yibum, yeah, but Yibum is only Shaykh when there's no son. If there's a son, there's no Yibum. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So therefore, by inheritance, really what it is that Chanoch has one thing going for him, which is Yud. The brothers have something else, which is Yibum, but we say that Yibum isn't actually a good proof, so therefore Chanoch gets priority over Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda. So if Reuven dies, first priority goes to one second. Yeah, exactly. So first priority goes to Chanoch. Reuven dies, first priority goes to Chanoch. If Chanoch doesn't exist, so then priority first goes to Yaakov. And then after Yaakov, it goes to Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda. Fine. Ve'ema, but I'll say maybe the Joshua is thus. She'ero, that when it says She'ero, Ze'a'av, that is Yaakov. Okay. Melamed Sha'av kodem lebas. So it teaches that Yaakov takes priority over Dinah, Reuven's daughter Dinah. Yochel Yakdim Leven. Is it possible that maybe Yaakov should also take priority over Chanoch? Tamloma Akarov. It says Shera Akarov Kodem, that whoever's closer, and therefore Chanoch comes first. So, okay, fine. So, if Reuven dies, Chanoch takes priority for inheritance. The shaila is, what if there's no Chanoch, but there's a Dinah? So Reuven dies, so now the shaila is, who inherits Reuven? Dinah, his daughter Dinah, or his father Yaakov? So we want to suggest that maybe She'ero means Ze'av, Melamed Sha'av, Kodem Levas. That if Reuven dies and it's between Dinah and Yaakov, Yaakov inherits Reuven. So answers the Gemara, no. Since by Yibum, a son and daughter are the same, meaning if Reuven has a son or a daughter, and then he dies, Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda would not be doing Yibum. So since Chanoch and Dinah are the same, the son and the daughter are the same with regards to the Chiyuv of Yibum, so, I forgot to pause the video. So therefore, Linenachla Nami Benuvas Kedade Ninu. So also when it comes to inheritance, the same thing. Just like Chanoch takes priority over Yaakov, so does Dinah. Maybe I'll say that, okay, She'ero means the father. Melamed Sha'av Kodem Le'achi Ha'av. That the father. So we had said earlier that Yaakov takes precedent. So meaning first dibs goes to Chanoch. After that, the father Yaakov takes precedence over Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda. But maybe that's not the Joshua. Right? We said that She'ero means that priority goes to Yaakov over Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda. But maybe that's not the Joshua. Maybe it's saying that Yaakov takes priority over Esav. Okay, that's weird to say that. Did Yaakov have any other brothers? I guess not. That's weird. Over his brothers. So maybe that's what it says. So it's She'ero that what am I doing here? That if Reuven dies, so we're saying if there's no Chanoch, so we're saying Yaakov gets priority over his brothers, but maybe not necessarily over Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda. Maybe Shimon and Levi, right? So Yochel Yakdim Le'achin. So is it possible that Yaakov, where am I? So is it possible that Yaakov would get priority over Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda? Tamalomer HaKarov. Karov Kodem. And therefore the brothers would take priority. So maybe that's pshat. Maybe it's just saying that Yaakov takes priority over his brothers, but not necessarily over Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda. So Achya Av Lo Tzurich Ekra. Well, yeah, but the thing is, we don't need, that would be a useless drug. We don't need She'ero to say that Yaakov takes priority over his brothers, because Achya Av Mikoach Man Ka'asu Mikoach Av. Because what makes us think in the first place that Yaakov's brothers should be inheriting Reuven? The only reason why they have any chance of inheriting Reuven is because they're brothers with Yaakov. So if Yaakov wasn't alive, so then, well, they're his brothers, they can inherit Reuven. But so long as Yaakov is alive, it makes no sense that his brothers would inherit. They're only inheriting in the first place through Yaakov. So if Yaakov's alive, of course Yaakov should take priority. So therefore, we don't need that drasha. So what does She'ero teach? That the father has priority over Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda. So the order is, if Reuven dies, first dibs goes to Chanoch. If there's no Chanoch, then it goes to Dinah. If there's no Dinah, then it goes to Yaakov. If there's no Yaakov, then it goes to Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda. But if you actually look at the psukim, we've been having fancy drushes, but if you just look, right, in Mikra Yotze Midei Pshuto, if you just look at the psukim, it says, if there is no Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda, le'aviv to Reuven, then it says, then it goes to Yaakov. So if you just look at Pashup on the psukim, it seems to be saying that priority goes to Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda, and only afterwards to Yaakov. So, and for the Gemara, the psukim are written out of order. Okay, but the order is that if Reuven dies, as I just said, priority goes to Chanoch, then to Dinah, then to Yaakov, then to Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda. Chevra, we're going to stop here. That was the first half of Perek Yesh Nochalim, Sechta BavaBasra. Shtikol Yevamis, relationships and things here, but as I just stated, kind of where we got to today was kind of the order of, we'll talk about who inherits who doesn't inherit who, bequeathing and this and that, but kind of the Gemara was talking about the order of priority of inheritance. Peace out.